Staying with news from Manipur, NDA ally Kuki People's Alliance withdrew support from the Biren Singh government in Manipur today. The BJP-led government in Manipur lost an ally, a key ally there, even though a minority ally. But this happened over the ethnic violence raging in the northeastern state for over 3 months. The Kuki People's Alliance, which has 2 MLAs, announced a withdrawal of support. The move is unlikely to pose any threat to the Biren Singh government, but it poses serious concerns about the trust deficit over the government in Manipur, as their own allies are now questioning the Biren Singh leadership. Take a look at this ground report now, which gives you a sense of what the situation is in Manipur even 3 months after the violence first broke out.
This is an interesting political move, although this is not a surprise to people who really follow Manipur politics, because you can see the Kuki leadership really hardening its stand, and these 2 MLAs are part of the 10 Kuki MLAs, which also includes 7 from the BJP, who have demanded for a separate administration for the Kuki or the tribal dominated areas. So even after this withdrawal of support by these 2 MLAs, the Biren Singh government otherwise has a majority support, so there is no threat to the government. Remember, 10 MLAs, including 7 from the BJP, have demanded 7 separate administration, and in past there is murmur inside the BJP in Manipur that there are about 10 MLAs who are against Mr. Biren Singh. However, if you put these 2 together and the 5 Congress MLAs, still the Biren Singh at this moment perhaps has the support of around 33 to 34 MLAs. So the magic figure in a 60-member assembly is 31. So therefore, at this moment, watchers say that there is no threat to the Biren Singh government in Manipur. However, in an interesting move, Center has actually rushed 10 companies, additional companies of central forces to Manipur after yesterday's violence, where 6 people have been killed. And in another important development, Manipur police has actually suspended 5 policemen, including the officer in charge of the Nongpok Sekmai police station. This is the same police station under Thawbal district, where under whose jurisdiction actually the issue of viral video had happened. The place of occurrence of the place of occurrence where those 2 tribal women were paraded naked is under this police station, and they have alleged in their FIR that they were actually rescued by the police and then handed over to the mob by the police, and therefore the state police has initiated an investigation led by a IGP of the state police, and these policemen have been suspended from duty.
And well, moving now to our other big focus, the aftermath of the communal violence in Haryana. On the 4th day of the government's demolition spree, and violence hit Nu, the hotel, which was reportedly used for stone pelting during the Jal Abhishek Yatra on the 31st of July, when communal violence first broke out, was razed today. This also has homes, shops, including medical stores, and over 250 shanties were demolished earlier. These shanties belonged to immigrants. There's politics over it as well. The BJP slammed the Aam Aadmi Party for a leader of the party being named in the violence, and a dramatic face-off also today between top police officials and CPI MPs who claimed they were stopped from entering Nu, the epicenter of the violence. But on the ground, heavy police deployment continues, and many migrant workers who claim they have nothing to do with the violence are left helpless with their shops and homes demolished. In the aftermath of the violence in Haryana's Nu, a grieving brother breaks down while remembering Pradeep, reportedly a Bajrang Dal worker who was killed by a mob on his way home.
जब शेवगोवाल में पैदा हुआ, मुझे बच्चे की तरह पाला, उसमें यहाँ पे लेकर आया, मुझे रखा, मेरे बच्चों को भी पालता था, वो मैंने माँ बाप को भी, भाई को पढ़ा, तो सब कुछ वही करता था मेरा। उसके बिना मुश्किल हो रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा। मेरे माँ बाप मरने की कगार पे पहुँच रहे हैं, उसके बिना कुछ भी पॉसिबल नहीं हो पा रहा सर। बहुत ज़्यादा समस्या का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। पता ही नहीं चलता रहा, सब सो के उठता हूँ तो लगता है वो यहीं होगा, देखे हूँ उसको, लेकिन पता चलता है वो तो है ही नहीं है। कभी उसका फ़ोन मिलाने लगता हूँ फ़ोन से अपने, पता चलता है वो है ही नहीं है। मैंने अपने हाथों में उसका दम टूटते देखा है सर, मेरे हाथों में दम तोड़ा है उसने। बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान है सर, पूरा परिवार बहुत टूट गया है, सब कुछ ख़त्म हो गया सर हमारा।
This is the Sahara Hotel that has been demolished by the authorities.
Meanwhile, on the fourth day of the government's demolition drive in Nuh, this three-story hotel, where stones were allegedly pelted from during the Jal Abhishek Yatra, came crashing down like a house of cards. Akbar's shop has also turned to rubble in Haryana government's demolition spree that saw nearly 50 shops, medical stores and over 250 shanties razed to the ground. While the administration says that these structures belong to immigrants who were allegedly involved in the violence, many like Akbar say they had nothing to do with the violence.
इनके लिए एक दो बार पहले भी नोटिस दे दिया गया कि भाई ये दुकान अवैध कब्जा बना रखी है, इनको हटाओ यहाँ से। मेरे 8-10 सदस्य हैं। अच्छा। हाँ, बच्चे हैं। रोजी रोटी चलती थी अच्छा। अच्छा। खत्म हो गया रोजी रोटी, क्या करें?
The government says that these are illegal immigrants occupying government land and are responsible for the communal violence.
वीडियोस में क्लियर देख रहे हैं, वो मीडिया के जो आपके द्वारा प्रोवाइड किए गए वीडियो हैं उन्हीं का प्रयोग करके डेमोलिशन के अंदर जो पत्थरबाजी के लिए जो बिल्डिंग यूज की गई है उनको काम में लिया जा रहा है। जहां तक एफआईआर की बात है तो अब तक 56 एफआईआर हमने रजिस्टर कर ली हैं और 147 के आदमी आसपास अरेस्ट है और ये ऑनगोइंग प्रोसेस है।
An eerie silence now in Nuh, with heavy deployment of police and paramilitary forces and prohibitory orders in place. But the worst hit are the migrant workers, now left without work.
तो बैठे और फिर हंगामा हो गया।
बच्चे भी घर पे डर रहे कि मम्मी पापा आप घर पे आ जाओ, इस वजह से हम लोग जा रहे हैं। हमारे भी बच्चे हैं, इस वजह से जा रहे हैं, नहीं तो हम लोग काय को जाते। अब हम तो परदेश में डले, इस वजह से डर रहे कि पता नहीं यहाँ पे क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा आगे चल के, इस वजह से गाँव जा रहे हैं। 8-10 दिन देख लेंगे, अगर शांत हो जाएगा तो ठीक है आएंगे, नहीं होगा तो ठीक है नहीं आएंगे बस।
It has been almost a week since the violence took place. Nothing much has changed. While the authorities say that the situation has improved, the streets of Nuh tell us a different story. In Nuh, with camera person Pooja Arya, Tanishq Punjabi for NDTV.
So, well, whether it's Gurugram or Nuh, the worst hit are the migrant workers who are now forced to leave. Short break now, come back for more news on the other side.
बीमारी हुई तो
That was fast, right? But tech is evolving even quicker than our abilities to adapt, and that's how I like to roll. Technology तो आप सभी के पास है, but what you need is everything else. मेरा नाम है गौरव और अब मैं आ गया हूँ NDTV नेटवर्क पे, हर रोज हर हफ्ते, अब आपके और पास. Go beyond the now.
When there's too much talking but very little being said, too many voices but hardly any being heard, you turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
From breaking news to in-depth analysis,
Covering the latest developments across politics, business and technology. Bringing you stories that shape our nation and the world.
"23 years of the big fight." This show is not just an ordinary debate show, but it is a responsibility in service of our viewers.
NDTV for news you can trust. No sensationalism, no ugly debates, no agenda. We strive to be transparent and unbiased in our reporting so you can get news that you can rely on.
In a world filled with noise, we bring you news that you can rely on, with accuracy and integrity, because at NDTV, trust is everything.
want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
Perishable items, what happens?
Perishable, this is a challenge.
What to expect in the coming months?
From second or third week of August, the prices will start coming down. Onion is going to give you tears.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
It's undeniable. We're facing the crisis of the generation, climate change, and it's happening. Not in some far-off distant land or some millions of years away. It's happening now. And it affects everything we know and love. Information around climate change can often feel too distant, too jargony, too scary, too anxiety-filled, too technical, or too political. I'm here to change that. The Climate Explainers, part of NDTV's 6-month-long campaign, building a blueprint for climate action. The climate clock is ticking, but we're just in time.
My name is Captain Raghu Raman, and I have been fortunate to have had a career that has spanned 3 different domains. Whether it was the authoritarian style of leadership in the armed forces, or the mostly incentive-driven environment of the corporates, or the process-driven style of the government, I found that there were some principles of leadership that are present in all the environments. And these valuable lessons of leadership can be learned from literally thousands of leaders who are all around us. And we will meet them all on Wisdom of Leaders.
We have a surprise for you. We're going to ask a bunch of you some special questions, and every correct answer is going to reveal what our surprise is.
I don't know. Satya Nadella?
Jeff Bezos. Bill Gates, probably.
Nehru Place. Saket.
Saket.
Mumbai.
Technical Guruji.
Tech Guruji. Technical Guruji.
Technical Guruji.
चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
The NDTV News Network
that informs,
inspires,
and illuminates. Watch every side of the story here on NDTV,
because the only side we're on is yours.
That was fast, right? But tech is evolving even quicker than our abilities to adapt. And that's how I like to roll. Technology तो आप सभी के पास है, but what you need is everything else. मेरा नाम है गौरव और अब मैं आ गया हूँ NDTV नेटवर्क पे, हर रोज, हर हफ्ते, अब आपके और पास. Go beyond the now.
When there's too much talking but very little being said, too many voices but hardly any being heard, you turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
From breaking news to in-depth analysis,
Covering the latest developments across politics, business and technology. Bringing you stories that shape our nation and the world.
Welcome back. It's election year and the BJP's infrastructure push continues. Prime Minister Modi today virtually laid the foundation stone for the redevelopment of 508 railway stations across India as part of the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. The ambitious project is estimated to cost around 24,000 crore rupees. Well, what is the significance behind this railway push in an election year? Vasudha has the details.
In what he called a landmark for Indian Railways, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the redevelopment of 508 railway stations across the country. These railway stations will come up in 27 states across India. 55 of them will come up in Uttar Pradesh, 55 of them in Rajasthan, 47 of them in Bihar, 44 of them in Maharashtra, and so on and so forth. Under this program, which is basically the Amrit Bharat station scheme, these railway stations are expected to have modern amenities which include not just spacious waiting rooms, cleaner bathrooms, but also better facilities, better high-tech facilities when it comes to regulating traffic or orientation of the railway station. It's important to understand here that 1,300 railway stations were recognized, were identified for this program. Work in 30 railway stations is already going on, and today, while inaugurating this program for 508 railway stations, the Prime Minister said that he wants Indian railways to be experienced in an affordable and enjoyable way by the Indian masses. He also said that his aim is to ensure that environment is also protected, so his aim is also to ensure no non-emissions when it comes to Indian railways. Let's also remember that Indian railways has always been used by Indian political parties to also reach out to their masses. So this program coming 1 year before the elections is also important, because most of these stations are also being built in the poorest of poor states, and Indian railways is also used by the middle class and lower middle class people of the country. To actually ensure that these railway stations reflect the city's culture and traditions, the Railway Ministry actually had a crowdsourcing campaign in which they talked about, they asked actually students to come up with ideas on how they see Indian railways in the next 10 years. So the graffiti and the wall paintings in these Indian railway stations will also reflect the traditions and culture of this place. And also, besides the modern amenities, these railway stations will also have urban spaces or some allocated space for vendors and artists to display their products.
And moving now to our NDTV special story, Asia's oldest club football tournament, the prestigious Durand Cup, is underway. And among the venues is one place in the northeast which has been in news earlier as well for insurgency, ethnic unrest and a separate statehood demand agitation. But today, after a successful peace accord was signed in 2020, there is sustained peace in Assam's Kokrajhar, where the Indian Army once used to carry out massive operations against the ethnic Bodo militants. In fact, today the same Indian Army has made its venue to host the Durand Cup, and interestingly, even a club from Bodoland is participating in it.
Fans gathered outside a football stadium at Western Assam's Kokrajhar, the headquarters of the Bodoland Territorial Council. They became part of a history, watching the first match of the Kokrajhar leg of the prestigious Durand Cup. Rajasthan United FC and Kokrajhar's very own Bodoland FC faced off on the field. The small town was all decked up for the event, adding to the optics. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, along with Army Chief and the Assam Chief Minister, presided over the official kick-off.
मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि असम और विशेषकर कोकराझार में दुरंड कप का आयोजन यहाँ पर नौजवानों को बहुत बड़े स्तर पर इनकरेज करेगा तथा हमें आने वाले समय में भी असम से और ज्यादा टैलेंट देखने को मिलेंगे.
For decades, Kokrajhar has remained under AFSPA. The region has seen bloody ethnic riots and sustained Bodo insurgency. But in 2020, in a landmark moment, the Modi government signed the historic Bodoland Territorial Region or BTR Accord with Bodo insurgents as well as civil society organizations, marking the beginning of transformation.
In last 3 to 4 decades, entire Bodoland region was, under some disrupt and uncertainty and instability in the entire region. So our youths, they lost their hopes. It is our past history that Indian Army and paramilitary forces came to our place for operation and operation against the arms groups and also to maintain law and order. Now Indian Army coming here to organize the football match. It's a big chance. The transformation is already happened, and this transformation was very important in Bodoland region.
The youth who were once drawn to the gun culture today find a career in football.
It's great now, right now we have been there's lots of people are coming to watch this match and everyone has come to enjoy the football show today. So I hope everyone will enjoy it.
In a childhood, we have seen that our region was completely undeveloped. Now, in our region, we can see that developing is started. Honestly speaking, we are very proud.
Kokrajhar's transformation is the latest example of how the Northeast is slowly but surely coming out of the shadows of insurgency, with sports offering a good option for youth. With Sanjay Chakrabarti in Kokrajhar and Ratandeep Chaudhary in Guwahati, Usama Shab for NDTV.
And finally, let's leave you with the first images of the moon as viewed by Chandrayaan-3. Well, this was taken as a satellite entered into the orbit of the moon. The journey so far has been very eventful for Chandrayaan, and ISRO expects that, the Vikram lander will soft land on the moon on August the 23rd. And good luck to Chandrayaan-3 for its happy landing. So a new chapter in India's space odyssey.